In today's NFT tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to auto-generate art in the easiest way possible. This tutorial is intended for all different styles of learners, and I'm going to be going through it in baby steps so anyone can follow along. We'll be going over how to create and organize layers in a Photoshop file, how to export those layers to single PNG assets, how to set different rarities for your accessories in your NFT, and lastly, how to auto-generate the art with two different methods, one being a paid version, the other being completely free. Now, before we get into any of that, if you guys could go down and leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, it would mean a ton, and that is all I asked for, as I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. That has been the end goal for so long, so please, if you could just hit that subscribe button for more NFT content, it would mean the world. Lastly, I just released my very own NFT course where I go over how to create your NFT brand, how to create the art, the best working art, and how to market your NFT brand, the most important part. I teach you all the juicy insider secrets for the cheapest course on the market, so please go and check that out. That will be linked down in the description. If you want to have a really successful NFT collection, this is the course for you. With all of that out of the way, let's get right into this tutorial. Alrighty, so for step one, we're going to be exporting all of these layers to PNGs, and it's going to be incredibly easy to do. So have your Photoshop file opened up, and if you don't know how to actually design the artwork itself, I'll have a video linked down in the description on how to create NFT art. Also on my website, I go in depth on what the best selling art is and how you can actually create that. So the way each layer is organized is that you're going to have your background on the bottom as shown right here, and then next is the body layer. Then we have our arms/shirt layer. Next up is the eyes layer. Then we have the mouth layer, then the hat layer. And yeah, that's how my NFT is configured. Everyone else's is going to be slightly different, but that's how you set up the layers for your NFT. I'm sure most of you guys already had that done. The next thing you want to do is actually rasterize each layer so that they are a PNG image type. And if you don't understand what I mean by this, as you can see, let's say for example this body, it is currently using the shape format and we don't want it to be a shape, so you can get rid of the shape by simply right clicking it and hitting rasterize layer, and bam, it's no longer a shape, it's rasterized and it's ready to export. I will say before you do this to all of your layers, make sure you save a backup just in case you ever want to go back and change some of the art. A way of quickly getting all of these rasterized is putting each subject, so let's say we want the spoon layer to get rasterized, putting it all in a folder and then right clicking the folder and hitting convert to smart object. Now I will say this art is actually for a project I'm working on in the future, and if you want to be a part of this community, highly suggest joining up the Discord channel that is linked down below. Every single member that gets one of these in the future will get free access to the NFT course. So that's just one more benefit of having purchased that NFT course. You'll get one of these guys for free. It's also incredibly important to correctly tag your layers. This is because when we work with the metadata later down the line, you'll have to go back and change the name, but if you have it correctly on your layers, you will not have to do that. So definitely name your layers appropriately. As you can see, I have my name bandana for the bandana. For the ears, I have it named ears, so on, so forth. So exporting the layers is actually incredibly easy to do. So I'm just going to do it for this test layer right here. All you have to do is go to File, Export, Layers to File, and make sure you are on the correct folder that you want to export. If you want to export all of them, just shift click down for every single one. But stay tuned because I have a better method than this. I just want to show this for the tutorial. So we're going to go to File, Export, Layers to File, and then you can choose wherever you want your folder to be saved in. So I'm saving it to this YouTube tutorial folder. And for the file type, you want that to be a PNG-24. Make sure the transparency is ticked on. Then select Run. And as you can see, it is now exporting those layers to this YouTube tutorial folder that I created. But you'll notice the file names are very long and ugly, and you're going to have to go back and change them. The problem with this is if you have a ton of assets, it's going to take you forever to change every single one, but I have a shortcut for you guys. So what you want to do is go to the C drive on your PC, then go to Program Files, Adobe Photoshop, Presets, Scripts, and then find the Export Layer to Files file. Now, if this stuff is too complex for you, you're always allowed to skip it, and all you have to do is just rename the files that get exported. It does take longer, but if you find this method too complicated, do not worry. Then what you want to do is open up Visual Studio Code, which is a program we'll be using later on in this tutorial if you are using the harder method for generating the code. However, if you want to use the paid method, you won't need to use this program. So let's open up Visual Studio Code and then go to View and Search. Then in the search, with this file opened, you want to search for 0 and then suppress. So what you want to do is find the file name body with this 0 suppress right here, and you want to hit the / twice on your keyboard. This will comment this code out, so it's now null. Then the code below it, what you want to do is get rid of this underscore with the quotes around it and the plus. So you can delete that. So now it just says file name body plus equals layer name. Then the last thing you want to do is go to the last file name body and also comment this out by hitting this // and bam, you are done. That was that easy. Go to file and save. Now you're going to get an error that's going to say you need to be an administrator. All you have to do is hit retry as administrator and then hit yes to saving, and bam, now it is saved to Photoshop. So let's go and check on that YouTube tutorial program, and as you can see, it is doing a fantastic job of adding in all of the assets. However, they are named completely horribly and they are not the correct size for what we want. So now with every single layer highlighted in our Photoshop file, we're going to do that exact same process. Go to File, Export, Layers to File, browse and find that folder you want to use for the destination file. Then select your file type to PNG-24, have transparency on, and make sure to take off trim layers. This is going to keep all of your layers positioned in the exact spot that you left them in. Then for the prefix, you just want to take the prefix off and select visible layers only. The reason you're selecting this is because you highlighted each of them in your Photoshop file. If you didn't highlight each of them, you can just tick it off, but we're going to keep it ticked on, and then we are going to select run. So this process is going to take a bit, especially if you have a ton of assets within your Photoshop file, but once it's done, it will all nicely be exported into your destination folder that you created, and you're ready to get on with the rest of the video. Alrighty, so once all of your assets are generated into that folder, they'll be completely out of place, but they'll be named correctly. If you notice that your files still have that ugly like numbers at the beginning of them, it could be an error with the Visual Studio Code file that we were editing. Don't worry, this happened to one of my friends. It's honestly not the biggest deal. You just have to go and rename each file, which does take a bit longer. But if you don't have a crazy amount of assets, it shouldn't take you more than 5 to 10 minutes. Alrighty, so let's sort all of these into their designated folder. So first we'll start with the background, and by control clicking on each one, I'm going to drag it into the backgrounds folder, and we're going to do the same thing for every single other asset. Alrighty, so now I've correctly organized every single file in their designated folder, and we're ready to actually auto-generate the art. Now I'm going to be showing you guys two different ways to auto-generate art. The first way is going to be a paid version if you want to do more than 100 NFTs. I will also include my very special discount code. If you use Kingdom10 at checkout, you'll get 10% off your purchase, which is going to help you a ton. So highly suggest using that discount code. The second version is going to be using hash lips auto-generating art. You won't need to know how to code, and it's honestly really easy to do, but I know some people are noobs and they'd rather just do the paid version because it's a lot easier and noob friendly. So that's completely up to you to decide which one you want to do. I'll have the timestamps linked so you can skip to which part of the video you need to skip to. So to get started, we're going to go to the website called NFT-generator.art. It will be linked down in the description. Then we're going to go to get started. On this page, we're just going to drop in all of our art. So I'm going to drag these folders and drop them in. Alrighty, so to get started, I'm first going to drag in the background images, and then I'm going to add the rest from back to front. So we're going to add the base in next. You can type base over here or whatever your next asset is and hit the plus. And then we're going to drag our base in, or the body. Then the next thing we're going to add is the outfit, then the eyes, then the mouth, and lastly the hat layer. And to ensure everything is set up correctly, you can actually preview what your NFT will look like by hitting the preview button. And as you can see right here, we have a nice little preview of what our NFT is going to look like. And based off this, we can tell that everything is in the correct order. Next thing you want to do is go to the project name and just type the name of your NFT. For this example, we're going to do like Wobbles. That's not going to be the end name for this project. For the description, I'm just going to type something simple like this is the Wobbles description. And for the collection size, I'm going to keep it at 99. Now for the percentages of rarity. This site makes it incredibly easy to change how rare you want each layer to be. So what you want to do is just go to the rarity settings on the layer that you'd like. So for example, we're going to do the background, hit rarity settings, and then you can easily change back and forth what you want to be super rare or what you don't want to be rare. Obviously, the higher the percentage, the less rare it's going to be. So for this common one, I want to make it incredibly rare. And let's also make this purple one quite rare as well. I'm going to make a few more of them rare. And you can really just change around the common to rarity ratio. It makes it so easy using this site. Now, another thing you want to change is instead of exporting to WebP, you want to export to PNG. Once you're finished setting the different percentages of your accessories, you can hit generate collection. You'll then need to put in your email address to download the collection. And as you can see, here's just some of the examples of the art that's getting generated. It's looking fantastic, and I actually cannot wait to release this project to the public. So make sure you do join my Discord, because in the next month or so it's going to convert into this project's Discord. I've been working on the art for a little bit now, and this is just some of the example previews I wanted to use for this tutorial, but there's so much more to this art that I can't wait to showcase in the coming months. Alrighty, so I just put in my email and then hit download, and bam, you'll then get a sample zip file. All you want to do is right click that, extract it, and then you'll receive your assets along with the metadata, which is going to show all of your attributes. If you want to check that, you can open it in any notepad program, and as you can see, it shows the trait type with the value. So we have glitter eyes, regular arms, bandana for the hat, as well as the name of the art and the description for your project. And the assets, it shows all of the different NFTs that it generated, and it did a fantastic job, especially with the rarity, making sure that the stuff I wanted to be incredibly rare was. I don't even think it printed out a singular gold background, which is great because I literally put that at like 0.02% rarity. So it's definitely doing its job. Alrighty, so part one was the easy way of auto-generating art. Now here is the quote-unquote hard way, but it's really not that hard. If you follow all of these steps, even a noob could auto-generate this art, in my opinion, and it's incredibly easy to do. So the first thing you want to actually download is Visual Studio Code. We used it at the beginning of this tutorial, but if you skipped over that part, it's not to worry. It's really easy to download. Just download on the website. Everything will be linked down in the description, as well as my NFT course and my Discord channel. The next thing you're going to want to download is node.js. I know a lot of people had issues in my past tutorials with the npm not installing properly. That's because they didn't have node.js downloaded, so make sure this is downloaded. The last thing you'll need is the GitHub repository from Hashlips. Huge shout out to that guy. He is the absolute GOAT for making this for absolutely no charge at all. If you've never used GitHub before, it's incredibly easy to do. I know it can look complicated to beginners, but all you want to do is go to the code button right here and click download zip. Once it downloads, it'll bring up a zip like so, and you just want to open it and then extract it onto your PC. Once extracted, you will get a folder that looks like this, and that makes sure everything is downloaded correctly. Then you can open up Visual Studio Code, the program you downloaded earlier. Once Visual Studio Code is open, you just want to go to File, Open Folder, and find that Hashlips folder you downloaded. The next thing you want to do is go to Terminal, New Terminal, and type in the terminal npm install. If you get some vulnerabilities, it's no big deal. It's nothing to worry about. The next thing you want to do to make sure everything is downloaded properly is npm run generate. So you can type that in to test the program and make sure it works. If it creates 5 additions, that means everything is working properly and you are ready to go on to the next steps. So the first thing you want to do is bring up the Hashlips folder that you downloaded and go to the layers folder. Then you just want to delete everything inside the layers folder. If you get this .ds, you can just keep that in. That's not a big deal. Once it's all deleted, you want to paste in your folder of assets that you have. So I'm going to drag in my background, body, and eyes folder, as well as the hat, mouth, and outfit. Once that's done, you're already halfway there. Then you want to go into the Visual Studio Code program again, and you want to go to the src folder. Then you want to open config.js. You'll see a bunch of code, but it's really not that scary. Under the const name prefix, you just want to type in your collection name between the quotes. So we're going to type in Wobbles NFT. Keep in mind, this is not going to be the name for this NFT that I release. It's just a placeholder name. And then in the description, you're going to type in your description of your NFT. So I'm just going to type in, this is the Wobbles NFT. And the URI is not important right now, and you can change it later on, so do not worry. Now, the next most important thing we're going to want to do is change the layers. So I'm going to bring up that layers folder that we have, and as you can see, these are our layers and these were the original layers on the Hashlips. So I'm just going to change them corresponding to the layers that we inputted. So we already have a background, I don't need to change that, but we need to add in body, outfit, eyes, mouth, and finally hat. Now you may notice that we have an extra one right here. Not to worry, you can just delete it, and if you need to add an extra one, you can just copy code by hitting Control C and then hitting Control V, and then you can paste it and add as many layers as you need. So I'm just going to delete these because we only need 6 layers, and perfect, we are almost done. The next thing you want to change is this number right here that says grow edition size 2. This is how big your collection is going to be. So for this example, I'm going to make it 50. We're going to have 50 different NFTs. Obviously yours probably will be like 10,000 or something ridiculous like that, but just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to set it to 50. The next thing you can do is change how big the NFTs are actually going to be. I like exporting 3000 by 3000, but you can keep them 512 by 512. The only thing that really matters is that they're in a square shape, unless that's not what you're going for. Now you're pretty much done, but there is one thing you can change. So we're going to go to File and Save All. Now, one thing you can do to change the rarities of your assets is going into that layers folder and individually renaming each asset to how rare you want it to be. So if I want something incredibly rare, I'll do #1, and that's going to make this blue background here incredibly rare. But obviously I don't want blue to be rare because blue should be a common color, right? So I'm going to keep that at like #50. But let's see this gold background right here. I want this incredibly rare. I want it to pop up once every 100 times. So I'm going to set that to #1. And if you do this for every single one of your assets, you can individually assign the rarity for each one. So as you can see, I changed all of the rarities, and you don't have to do this. this, but it is something that I think is a great practice to use in your NFT projects and something I teach on my NFT course. So once you're done renaming all of the different assets to the respective rarities that you'd like, you can go back into the hashlips folder that you have open in Visual Studio Code, and ensuring that everything is saved, we're going to double check that by saving it again. Then in the terminal, we are going to run npm run generate, and I actually did get an error, and that's because one of my assets was called balloon-v2. It's very important that all of the names of your assets do not have a dash in them for the hashlips program, or else you will get an error. So once again, I'm going to type in npm run generate, and this time everything should be working. And as you can see, the additions growing, it is working, and you can check them live as they're being created by going to the build and then the images tab. And then if you want to click on one, you can view what they look like. Now, another way of seeing them is going to the hashlips folder, going to build and then images. It's the same thing. And bam, that's just another way of auto-generating your art, this time for free. And all of the JSON metadata is in this folder as well. You can open that up with any notepad editor, and the metadata is there. So as you can see, it created 50 like we set it to, and it's really that easy to do. There's no gold background since we set it to incredibly rare. And yeah, guys, I think that covers pretty much everything in the whole auto generation process of creating an NFT project. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel. That is really all I asked for. I'm really trying to get 100,000 subscribers, and I post weekly NFT related content. So if you like NFTs and want to keep up with the space, make sure you do hit that sub button. Once again, I do have my NFT course, and if you guys join that course, you will get access to a free one of these NFTs when they release. So that's an amazing benefit to be in there. These NFTs will probably go for even more than what the NFT course is for. So you're honestly getting a steal. But that's going to conclude it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace. See ya later.
Thank you for watching the video. And don't forget to ring that bell. Thank you for watching the video.